In the first hour, mass blackouts would start to occur across the globe. Electricity generated from coal plants would fail once the fuel runs out, while wind and water-powered systems would also shut down without human supervision. The next day, without steady power consumption, most nuclear power plants will shut down as they are equipped with automated safety measures to avert a possible meltdown. In underground rail systems like those in London, Moscow and New York City, hundreds of drainage pumps would be abandoned, flooding the tunnels in just 3 days. Electric fences begin to fail, causing animals held captive by them to roam freely. Zoo animals would escape from their cages and go into the cities. After 10 days, pets would find it difficult to survive. Domesticated dogs that have survived would have to adapt to the wild. Cats may also have to adapt, but since they are more independent creatures, they have a higher chance of survival in the wild. Billions of chickens and millions of cows, as well as other farm animals, would die or become prey to other wild animals. As the power goes out, bacteria, mold, insects and rodents begin to eat and decompose the products left on grocery store shelves. Once all this food runs out, insects and rodents that return back to the wild would have their populations quickly diminish as they become food for predators. A month later, nuclear fuel stored at nuclear power plants cooled by water in pools or on-site facilities would dry up. The heat from the fuel rods will cause them to catch fire, getting exposed to the highly unstable nuclear fuel. This would lead to a series of explosions much stronger than the Fukushima and Chernobyl disasters. Most plants and animals within these affected zones would die due to radiation poisoning, and those that survive would have a range of different genetic disorders. A quarter of a century after man's disappearance, 75% of the planet's paved city streets and sidewalks will be covered in vegetation. Moss would overtake the streets, while trees and flowers would grow on abandoned buildings. In some coastal areas, entire cities would have been reclaimed by the sea, and old sunken ships would be the foundation of new coral reefs. After 30 years, the satellites we sent up to explore space would come crashing back down on Earth. Despite our absence, global warming would continue for another 40 years after we're gone. The Earth's temperature would have risen by 0.6 degrees, but the environment nonetheless would have improved drastically. By year 60, marine life would have recovered from decades of overfishing and would be thriving. In 150 years, plants, dirt and sand would begin to encompass even the most urban environments. Many cities would be completely buried. London would revert to swamplands, and in northern cities like Vancouver, skeletons of buildings would poke out from layer upon layer of snow and ice. Cities like Las Vegas and Dubai will be smothered in sand as the desert takes back what belongs to it. In 230 years, vegetation that has thrived in humans' absence will have eliminated excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The only evidence that we humans ever existed would be leftover steel and plastic. After 300 years, metal constructions like the Eiffel Tower and steel bridges, without maintenance, would crumble to the ground. 500 years after humans disappeared, the world's forests would be the healthiest that they've been in 10,000 years. The natural world would have succeeded in erasing most of the final traces of human existence. After 10,000 years, the only thing to remind the world of humanity's existence would be certain artifacts carved from rock like Mount Rushmore, or maybe the pyramids, which can last several 100,000 years. Of course, even after 25,000 years, some of our plastic objects might still be found. However, in another 50 million years, they will be gone too. While humans might not disappear into thin air, we shouldn't take our planet for granted. Our human ingenuity has led to extraordinary changes to the world. Humanity hasn't always been here, and we won't be here forever. But by investigating the world without us, perhaps we can learn that even after we are gone, the world will go on. We hope you found this interesting. Keep watching Youcurious. Drop in your comments below and let us know what you think. And do subscribe and stay tuned to Youcurious. Discover more, know more.